welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Jayme.
And this is Beth.
And we are two oldish, youngish ladies talking about things we're into.
Yes. This is my favorite thing.
It's so
good.
fun. I love thinking about things I'm into because at first I'm always like, I don't know, nothing's new. And then I come up with this whole list and I'm like, oh my gosh, of course. There's so many new things every time.
One of my favorite pastimes is sending a friend a link. You know, I'm talking to somebody and we talk about it. I'm like, let me send you a link.
Yes.
And obsessed with it.
Recommendations.
Yes.
I love my own recommendations.
And I have to say, none of this is sponsored. This is just our own things that we actually use and like and want to
one day, maybe.
Around.
But I love getting your recommendations too.
Same.
And things, and not all things are like products
for
sure that I'm into. I mean, majority
there's
is not.
all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's always good. Anyway, so let's start with our favorite thing ever, books.
But okay, yes.
Okay, girl.
Oh my freaking word. I can't wait to tell you.
I've entered a new world of book world because I'm in spicy book world. I did not mean to get to spicy book world. But like a few weeks ago,
You're talking about sexual content.
Spicy, yes.
Like, is it all?
Like back in the day, Harlequin romance. Fabio.
What are you, I mean, are you into it?
I mean, not like into it, but it's just like, I never really read anything like that. And like a lot of them are like, I read it for the plot. It is like, they're just books that I like. So I was at Target and I was trying to find a new book and like, I don't know. I'm just looking at covers and I wanted to read something kind of witchy.
Okay.
And so I found this thing called, it's called Filthy Rich Fae.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, Fae, that's like fairies and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I like fantasy sci-fi. So I was like, oh, I'm going to grab it. I grab it. I start reading. I'm like, wait a minute. And there are just like filthy scenes in there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm clutching my pearls. But the story was actually good too. Like, it's just like little moments of like heat.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And are they fairies?
There are some of them, they're fae. I don't really know the difference, but they're more.
How do you spell that?
Fae. They're like more of an intense fairy.
Oh.
And there's evil ones and good ones. Anyway, so I started reading that one and I really liked it. Like it was like a quick read, easy, had a good plot. Like it was interesting. It was a nice world. The author's name is Geneva Lee. And so I read that one. I'm like, oh, I want to read. I wonder if there's more. Well, I didn't realize it was like the first in a new series. It had just come out. Oh. So in the book, it shows all the author's other works. And so she had a whole other series called Filthy Rich Vampires. So I go back to the Target and I get Filthy Rich Vampires 1 and 2. And I'm like, I cruise through them because it's like a holiday weekend. And I was bored and it was just like, this is great. Just reading. It's super quick reads. And then it was like a Sunday. It's like 180 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I want to read another book. I have Monday off. I like to read another book. I got out of bed on a Sunday at like 2 p.m., put pants on, went out in the heat, go to Target. They're doing like a buy two, get one book.
Oh my goodness.
I buy the last one and then I have to find 2 more. And I'm walking around and realizing like I have the filthiest books and I'm just walking around Target. But anyway,
they're also
great.
just there. They're just there at Target.
Yeah. And I didn't know because the covers you can't
not like
tell.
They're in an adult section.
No. And you can't tell because the covers, like back in the day, you could tell what a romance novel was.
Do you feel like a kid could accidentally read that?
I mean, yeah, because they could pick up a book, but I don't think that the covers are like dark and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't think a kid would be like, you know what, I want to read that. But there are a lot of kids that are reading these spicy books that are like middle school, high school.
Yeah.
Not like a kid, but like kids that probably are a little too young.
Those are my kids' age. Those are kids.
Yeah. But like, I think a 16-year-old girl reading this is very different than like a 9-year-old girl reading this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, just something to be aware of.
Okay. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying this.
Well, and not like that, but I did read the whole series and it was pretty good. Like, I was like, oh,
okay.
I think I like vampires and the world of witches. Yeah.
Well, you knew that. That's why you got the book.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. And then add some spiciness in there. Just
listen. They're not even that bad, I guess, because like there's actually a rating system that you can go to this website. I'll put it on our show notes. It's like called like romance.io. I don't even know. But my friend was like, are these books even spicy? And you can go look up and people rate them, not just like stars, but spiciness with little peppers.
Okay. So have you heard of The Fourth Wing? I told you about this.
I know. My friends were reading that because it's like fairy porn or dragon porn or something. Spicy dragons.
There's only like 2 scenes or whatever.
Yeah.
that are spicy. But yeah, it's about dragons. I did. Yeah. So I read both of them and I was like, that's pretty good.
Woo. But I mean, it's not like it's consistent, right? It's like just those little,
it's like a little part of it.
Thing.
But I will say, so I have another friend who's really into reading and she's just like, those are nothing. Like, and when it comes to level of spiciness. Yeah. So for me, I was like,
I feel like these were pretty tame, but I was just like, oh, hello, sir. Yeah. So anyway,
that's so funny. Right. Okay, so my first book I have. I have to take a deep breath. Okay, so the first one is The Women, and I had this on my to be read list.
Yes.
Well, I have now read it. It is so good. It is so good. Okay, so it is, and I had forgotten. I didn't know what it was about.
Yes, I remember because you recommended it.
I know. I was like, I think this is going to be good, but I don't remember what it's about. And it was different than I thought it would be. It's about women, well, particularly one woman, but she's kind of a representative of women in this storyline because it's a historical fiction. Big surprise. And she is a nurse in Vietnam. She's like young and she joins to be a nurse during the Vietnam War. And it's her experience going through all of that, coming back, what she went through, which I wasn't aware of. I don't know. This is like before my time. And also I don't really spend my time like learning about history, which is kind of sad in some ways. But oh my goodness gracious, it is so well written. It's so deep in so many ways because she has like PTSD. PTSD. She has so much trauma from it was so traumatic. And then when she came back, she was just the way that she was treated because of how people felt about the war. And then she was trying to get help, but people denied that women were even in Vietnam. And so she had to face all this stuff. And then there's all this like personal life story and her love stories and like all this all intertwined. It's so good. And then she has these female like friends that are also in Vietnam with her that they bond. And then it's kind of their thread of their relationship throughout her life and what that meant to her. I mean, there's just so many layers. It's so well written and so good. I really, really liked it and highly recommend. The Women, it's by Kristen Hanna.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on a quest to like do my Goodreads reading challenge this year.
Okay.
And I thought I marked it at 100, but really it's 75. And so
I feel like that's realistic.
It's more realistic than 100 based on what I read last year. Anywho, I'm like 9 books behind. I'm like, girl, we're going to have to start really getting through these audiobooks during the day. So I was like, okay, so I was looking for a new audiobook and I'm just on my Libby app and I'm like, what's available now? And I'm always looking for things that are like a nice sweet spot of like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Because over that, it just gets too much to remember. I like a quick read. So I find this book and it's called The Coworker by Frida McFadden.
Okay.
And no idea what it's about other than it was just like a suspense thriller. It was so good.
Oh,
and I think this is a reader because I think you said you read The Woman Upstairs or were going to read that, and she wrote that.
Okay, I haven't read it yet, but yes.
So it's the same author, but like it was so good. It was, I don't want to give too much away, but it's 2 women that are having this conflict that are kind of going back and forth, but one of the women's like neurodivergent, so it's interesting how she writes the character and just like the inner workings, and it was just really interesting and good, and like the voice actress was great. So it was just kind of like it went by so fast.
Okay, I want to read it because I want to read another like thriller suspense kind of book because I think I really like those.
Oh, I love them specifically as audiobooks too.
Oh yeah.
Like especially a really well-read one. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
So super good. She has a ton of books on at least our local library Libby app. And it's just like, okay, I just like started like holding so many of them because there's just like, a plethora, but they have a lot of long waits because I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because you're not the only one.
I'm not the only one. I'm like late to the game. Anyway.
Okay, the other book that I have is called Did You Hear About Kitty Carr?
What is that?
It's by Crystal Smith Paul. Oh my word. Okay, again, didn't really know what this was going to be about. No, that's not true. So what I knew was what it said in the description, which doesn't give anything away of what it actually is about.
Love that.
So it is about a famous movie star who bequeaths, I guess is the word. Like she dies and then she leaves all of her estate and all of that to 3 Black girls who are sisters.
Okay.
And it's a mystery of like, why did she do that?
Oh, okay.
It is so good.
Oh, interesting.
It is so good. And I just didn't expect it to be so deep. And I don't want to say what it's about because
no spoilers.
But it's fascinating. Again, I believe it's historical fiction. Yeah, it is. It's historical. I'm like, wait, did that? Yeah, because there's a lot that happened. But it's so good. And I just didn't expect it to be what it is, what it's about. And so I recommend it. I think you would like it. But it brings up some stuff that's just like not easy. And so I think that's why I like these books that are just like, that make you think and that are kind of like sad in some ways because of the reality of what people have gone through. But it's told in a story. I don't know. I can't get enough of historical fiction. So anyway, I really liked it. Did you hear about Kitty Carr? That's all I'm going to say about it because I just don't want to give any spoilers.
You know what? I'm so on board with no spoilers because I love book recommendations, show recommendations, movie recommendations, but I hate it when somebody's like, and then there was a twist. And you're like,
shut up.
Shut it down. Speaking of good, I binged a TV show. Which, surprise, surprise, right? Because I'm always watching the TV shows. And I've been desperate to find things. And my brain is not feeling watching TV right now, which is very troubling.
Unusual.
Very unusual because I need something in the background or my brain thinks too much and I spiral into like crazy thoughts of just like, yeah, let's move to Acapulco, and like, you don't even know where that's at on a map.
Doesn't sound crazy to me, but okay.
It's too much. So anywho, I started watching, my friend at work recommended the show called Owning Manhattan. And, there's all these like real estate shows like buying Beverly Hills and selling the OC and all of the stuff. I never got into it because it's just like, first of all, I'm sad that I can't buy a house. So it's just like rubbing it in. Secondly, it's sad because I'm never going to be able to buy that kind of house because they're like $1 million beautiful homes, blah, 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 blah. So it just wasn't my thing, but I had nothing else to watch. And I'm just going to watch one episode. And I think it was like a Saturday at 2 and I'm like putzing around the house. It was so good. The characters were engaging, like the stories and the conflict that they were having with each other was interesting. It was all about like, Manhattan real estate and just seeing how people like navigate that. And it was so good. And there's only 8 episodes, which I appreciate. And there's a lot of like conflict and resolution and like a cute fashion and just like eccentric people. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I think it was later that night. It was like nighttime now, like 10 o'clock at night. And I was like emerged from my binge. Yeah. And I was like, that was wonderful. And it was really good. So anyway, Owning Manhattan.
That's cool. I don't have a TV show. That's not a surprise. But I do have a movie.
Okay.
And it is Inside Out 2, which is still in theaters. And we went with 2 of our kids. And we don't go to the movie theater very often, like maybe like twice a year. We usually go around Christmas time and maybe like 1 or 2 other times. And so we went because I had heard good things about it. And I agree with all the good things that I heard because it's so good. It's so good. Honestly, I cried.
Yeah. I love the first one.
Movie. I cried in this movie, which is an animated movie, but it's really well done and it's so relatable. And I know it was relatable for my kids. And watching it with my kids, I think is what made me cry because, it's like kind of a coming of age movie where it talks about all of the changes, particularly in emotions that this young, kid starts to go through as they hit puberty. And it's funny. It's heartwarming. It's so good.
So good. Yeah. I cannot wait to see it. I wanted to go to the theater too, but then I'm like, you know what? The last time you went to see Inside Out in the theater, you cried. And that was embarrassing. And so we're just going to save that for home.
I don't think you would be the only one.
It brought up so many feels. So
yeah. Well, and this one does too. It's not going to disappoint. It's really well done. It's so good. I mean, even my husband cried, but that doesn't take much. I mean, he's such a softie. He cries in like, doesn't take much to get him to cry, but it was just so sweet. Good. Oh. So yeah, I highly recommend Inside Out too.
Well, I have another show for you, which I doubt you'll ever watch, but it's so good. And it's Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup.
What?
You know Gypsy Rose?
No.
It's Gypsy Rose.
Is she the one that just like lied to like get free stuff?
Kind of. And her mom, she killed her mom.
No, I don't know anything about her.
So Gypsy Rose rose to infamy years ago because she she encouraged her boyfriend at the time to kill her mom.
Oh.
And her mom had like, it came out because Gypsy was already kind of known in different arenas because she was a really sick kid. Like she's like had leukemia, like all of these ailments, was in a chair.
Oh, wait, maybe you did tell me about this, but it was her mom making her sick?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like in a wheelchair. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've probably mentioned the show before because I'm obsessed with it, but it's just, the season just ended and it's just so interesting to watch this woman navigate life. Like there's just a certain type of person that like can have the like charisma for and like the spotlight, the able to pull people in with their personality and what they say and do, good or bad, to like be on a reality show. Like I realize that like I'll never be on a reality show because my personality is not that big and outgoing in those ways. And just watching her, and she's like, you know, with this guy that she married in college, this guy that she married in when she was incarcerated and coming out of it. And they literally, the cameras start rolling as soon as she rolls out of prison.
Was he in prison with her?
No, he just wrote her. And
so how'd they get married?
Because you can have visits, and so they got married with the jailhouse, whatever.
Oh.
I don't really know all the ins and outs of prison details, but it's like it's so fascinating because you see their relationship just kind of like, you know, unspool, and she likes getting back with her ex fiance, and like by the end of the show, which is not that many months, she's like left her current husband. She's now with the old fiance and announces that she's like pregnant.
Oh.
And you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
And she's a really interesting TikTok, and both of her ex-husband and her go live all the time on TikTok. And like, it's just like, it's fascinating to watch because it's such a different way to live. So anyway, I'll probably mention it like 10 more times over to finish up the summer because it's just like, you know, there's just so much going on with it. But it's just like, oh my gosh, this is kind of a train wreck and fascinating. And just the like, especially with especially with there's just like that underlying fascination with like true crime and stuff. And she's had so many documentaries about her, and there's just so much interest in her case to kind of see like, what she does with it now is kind of interesting. So anyway,
for sure.
Anyway.
All right. I'm going to shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to switch to my latest beauty product obsession.
Yes.
And it's just one product because I've shared, and I stand by the ones that I have shared, and I just keep using them. So I feel like I don't need any. Well, I shouldn't say I feel like I don't need anything else. That's totally a lie. I'm like constantly being targeted by ads, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that, but blah, blah, blah. Okay. It is the Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. I like that brand. Multiple of the products are something I use regularly. And it is the Soft Pinch Luminous Powder Blush.
Oh, okay.
And what I love about it is that it has, it's got the color, but then it's got like an illuminizer.
Okay.
Mixed. They're mixed.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to do a highlight on top of your blush.
Yeah, which I've never done before. And I feel like for summer with the sun, I just really like it. It feels like it kind of is glowy, and it's just kind of shimmery, but it's not, I don't know. I just really like it. I like the finish. I think it's really pretty.
Yeah. It's a nice color on you.
Thank you. Do you know that I'm wearing it? Can you tell?
Well, yeah, you're wearing blush. Yeah.
Can you see that it's like kind of shiny?
I saw it in the sun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see,
it's
I love
shimmery.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what it's called. And there's, I don't know, like 6 different colors. I have the one that's called Happy.
Okay.
And I really
and it
like
makes you happy.
it. Yes. Actually, I have 2. I have 2 of them now.
Of course.
So I forget the name of the other one. But anyway, I like a lot of her stuff. I really still love the Soft Pinch Tinted Lip Oil. Also wearing that in the shade Happy. But I love that, and I love the blushes. So
perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so I have a couple beauty products.
Okay.
The first one, so let me just say, I went palette crazy a few years ago. You know, it was like in the peak Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, like they were exposing, you know, the makeup industry. I bought tons of makeup during that time.
Yes.
It was right before COVID.
I feel like I remember this. I can't wait to hear your recommendation because can I just say that I really want a palette, and I have one palette, but I really want one that has like different colors.
Okay.
And when I was looking, I just got overwhelmed and I'm like, I don't know. And they're expensive.
They're expensive. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I want that color from that one and this other color from it. Anyway, sorry, I'm totally hijacking your recommendation.
No.
But
I hear you though, because there's I have one of my favorite palettes is Man Eater by Tarte. I think it's discontinued now, but there's one shade in it that I've like hit the pan and I love it so much. And you cannot buy it individually. And so it's just like, it's the perfect pink for me. And it's just like, cool. I can never get it again unless I buy the palette on, eBay or something. So it's just frustrating. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's really hard when they have so many colors that you don't use and then other colors that's like, I just want these 3. Anyway.
Okay, but what's your recommendation?
So recommendation, it's Geneva's Place. Please forgive me if I say it wrong, but it's the Coffee Shop eyeshadow palette. It was $25 at Ulta. I've been looking at it for a while and it was always out. And it's just this beautiful selection of browns.
Okay.
And what I like about it is first, this is a company that was started by a Black woman. So they really focus on like Black women, like creating colors that really are geared towards darker skin and like other skin tones, which is really nice.
Yes.
So there's always a little bit of controversy. They came out with a blush earlier this year that's like highly pigmented. And there was a lot of like influencers that were trying it that were white.
And you're like, no,
this is too much pigment. And they are like, yeah, you need to see it on dark brown skin. And then it's beautiful and it's exactly what they need. Yeah. So I love their palettes. Like they are very creamy. And I have a couple of, I actually think I have 3 palettes now. Anyway, but the browns are perfect for me for every day. And so it's like, I'm not wearing it today, unfortunately. I was going to get all dolled up for you, but I was like, it's Jayme. She knows what I look like. But it's like every morning I'm like just kind of rubbing my finger in the pan, which people are like, that's trash. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. It's my own germs.
You do it.
And I just like dab it on my eyelid and it just makes this beautiful, like nice little contrast. It's not crazy smoky or anything for the colors I choose. It has a lot of colors in the palette. And then I add a little liner and like a mascara and I'm good to go. And I just love that. I just love the formula so much, but they have a lot of bold colors too. So it really runs the gamut on their palettes, and their palettes, I feel $25 for a palette isn't crazy.
No, because the ones I was looking at were like 45, 55, 65. Cause I was at Sephora and I was like, what? I wanted a palette. And then I was like, no, I don't want to spend that much because I don't even know if I really like it. Cause here's the thing. I've gotten a palette. I've gotten 2 palettes that were kind of cheap.
Yeah.
And I really didn't like the formula. I was just like, it just like was kind of flaky and it just was, and it just, what's that called when pigment? It like goes down onto your cheek?
Oh, there's a lot of fallout. Yeah.
And I was like, this is not what I want.
Nope.
So I know I'm going to have to pay a little bit more, but I also want to make sure I'm getting the colors that I want. Yes. So
it's tricky.
It is.
But she has a lot of palettes and she has bigger palettes and smaller palettes. So this one's a pretty big palette for $25. I have one that's like half the size and I think it was like in the 15s maybe. I can't remember.
Okay, I got to go to Ulta now.
Yeah. But again, they have a lot of selection. I really like their brand. I like their quality. I've yet to have a product where I'm like, I hate it,
What's the name of it again?
Geneva's Place.
Geneva's Place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, you look and it's a very Nubian princess. It's like, you can't really miss it. So, And then my other one is I found this eye cream in my stash. I have a hoard of like, okay, I want to take that back. It's not a true hoard, but I have like several products that's like I've gotten in like subscription boxes or I don't even know where I've gotten them.
Okay.
Mystery packs. So when I have like one eye cream I'm using, if I get another one, I just obviously put it in my stash so that when I run out, I'm not whatever. Obviously, it's a stash. So I find this eye cream in my stash. Have no idea where I really got it. I'm pretty sure it was a FabFitFun box. Anywho, I start using it and I'm just like, I love the texture. I love the feeling.
You put it under your eye, on top of your eyelid?
I put it on top and under. So it's just like, I just do a little like.
At nighttime?
At nighttime and in the morning too. And it just is like this really, it's like not greasy. Okay. It's not too heavy, but it feels like it's really moisturizing. And I'm like, I'm loving it. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to add that for our little, like recommendations. I love it so much. I never Googled it, anything. I looked it up. It's called the Biro Truffle Eye Serum. Guess how much it costs?
I don't know.
$114.
OMG.
$114.
How big is the bottle?
It's a normal eye cream. It's not huge, tiny. And I'm just like, oh my gosh,
no wonder you like it so much.
It's so bouge. And then I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I can find it cheaper somewhere. I'm like, you can find it on like Amazon for cheaper, like $26. But I'm like, it's highly
fake.
Likely it's probably fake. Yeah. So anyway, so now like I've been using it like
generously.
And now I'm like, we're going to go down to like just a little
little
like
dot.
a little dot.
Oh yeah. You're going to cut back so it lasts longer.
Yeah, because there's no way I'm going to buy it again. Like, because I didn't buy it the first time. It came as like a gift, basically.
I feel like if it's that good, it might be worth it though.
Not for $114.
Okay,
no.
so why are you?
No.
You're telling us about this now.
It's so good though.
I know. Well, that's what I'm like.
Well,
do I need to buy this?
I mean, maybe you can get a sample somewhere. I don't know.
I'm going to want it.
It's good.
Okay. We're on to the random category.
Okay.
Mine are quite random.
Okay.
Camping with less stuff. So in the past, we have been campers and, we kind of outgrew our minivan. And so we started renting a little motorcycle trailer whenever we go camping, and just so we don't have to pick and choose quite as much about what we're taking and not taking. And we can throw our bikes in there and we can just like bring all the stuff, right? Well, this year when we were camping, we've gone camping twice, and both times we were continuing on after the campsite onto something else, and we didn't want to take a little trailer with us. So we're like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to pare down and we're just going to take the van like we used to. And so I went through my stuff and just like narrowed it down to like, what do I actually use when I'm camping? What do I actually feel like I need? Like, what are the bare essentials? And so, I had this whole kitchen thing, and I just took out what I needed. Like, number 1, wine bottle opener. Yes, that's coming. Number 2, 1 pan.
Okay.
I don't need all 4 pans.
Yeah.
Am I going to cook eggs? Not this time or next time. I was like, no, that's too much work. I don't want to wash any dishes. Like, I'm going to bring 1 pan. I'm going to bring, like, I just pared down.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant and it was great. And it all fit both times. And then we went from there to the next thing. And like, it was just easier actually. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing now. Like, we're paring down. We don't need all the stuff.
Yeah. I love that for you.
Yeah. I mean, if we wanted to, we didn't take bikes or anything, but we didn't really miss them. And, I wore the same outfit for a couple days. I brought enough clothes, but I'm like, next time I'm going to pare down even more, like in the clothing department, like literally. Because what ends up happening is that I'm there and I'm like, I might as well just wear the same thing. Like, I don't want to do more laundry when I get home. And also I don't care. It already smells like smoke, like whatever. And so I just wear the same thing. So, I mean, I'm camping. Who cares?
Seriously, who cares?
Yeah. So camping with less stuff, I am into it.
Okay. Well, I am into my new Costco find.
Ooh.
So my friend at work was telling me, this is a different friend. I have more than one. And
of course you do.
She's sharing with me that she had found kimbap rolls, which is like Korean sushi for lack of a better word, rolls frozen at Costco, and they're actually good. And I was like, that sounds intriguing. And Trader Joe's had one that I kept seeing all over TikTok, and I really wanted to get them, but I didn't want to drive.
We don't have a Trader Joe's.
So I didn't want to drive 2.5 hours to just try and find this viral thing, not knowing if it would be there or not, blah, blah, blah. So she tells me this. I go that same day to the Costco, which I never do because it was like a weekday. I get off work. I go to Costco, which is already like, why am I doing this? And I started loading up my cart. I went for one thing, and then I was like, maybe I should get this and
That's
this.
That's the problem with Costco.
I know. So I'm just like, so I know it's in the frozen food, so I start looking for it everywhere. And I'm going up and down the aisles, and I'm like, they don't have it. And I was so upset. And I'm like, I just kept looking. And finally, there was 3 bags left, like shoved up against like some, shrimp or something. So I grabbed 2 of the bags, haven't tasted it or whatever. And I was so excited. I get them home. You literally like microwave this thing for like 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 3 minutes. It has a little vent pouch, and then you open it up, let it cool down just a smidge. Delicious. And it's vegetarian.
Yay!
It is so good. I'm like, this is the best little dinner because it's like, I don't know, ends up being like $3 a roll, $4 a roll. But it's like so good. It's so filling. The flavor's there. It makes me so happy. But I'm like, I'm hoping our Costco brings it back, because I just had such a small amount and like, oh, I think they might be sold out now. But then I saw someone else at work. I opened up the freezer to put something in, and somebody else had brought their own rolls like from Costco. And I was like, another person enjoying the same thing. So anyway, it's so good. So if you find them, and they're called the, forgive me, my Korean's a little rusty, hanwoo mul, fried tofu and vegetable kimbap.
I wonder if you could do it online, like if you could order it online with the
I don't know.
delivery.
Well, it wouldn't matter if they didn't. I don't know if you can order frozen foods on Costco
I don't
delivery.
know either.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know you can do like the Instacart, like same day stuff, but I don't know about the delivery.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Instacart wouldn't work because it's not here. It's going to be here. I'm manifesting that
here.
Costco's going to bring it back.
Oh, did they get rid of it?
They only had 3 bags left and they only had 1 little tag. So I don't know if they're going to restock it.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, they do Instacart. I thought we were talking about Instacart.
Yeah,
I'm like, they don't do Instacart
no,
anymore?
they do, yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Another thing I'm into, and that is the all-day birthday party with options.
Oh my gosh.
For myself and for others. I love it.
Yeah.
I did it this year. I had 3 options for people to like come and go, whatever they wanted to come to.
Mm-hmm.
All things that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hold back in my invitations, just invited, all the just random like friends and people and different crowds and whatever. And then just saw what happened. Just saw who showed up to what. And it was so fun for me. I loved it. And so then I have like 2 other friends that are doing something similar in terms of multiple things in a day. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is genius. Of course, I'm going to all of them.
Of course.
But not everybody has to or wants to because it's just like a variety. So I did like paddleboarding, a happy hour, and then
line
what
dancing.
did I do? Oh, yeah.
Country line dancing,
of course.
yes.
And oh my goodness, I had so much fun at my party. And so I feel like now, do I want to put this effort into like figuring out birthday parties like for my children like all day?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
I'm talking about like myself or like peers.
Yes.
Like other adult friends
Yes.
that are like, hey, I'm gonna, because I would love to go to somebody's birthday party that's doing fun stuff. And so anyway, I highly recommend it and I am into it. So
love it.
I feel like I can't say from now on, but I feel like maybe from now on, this is my plan.
Fabulous.
I mean, I was pretty tired the next day, but it was totally worth it.
Absolutely.
One more thing.
Okay.
And this is, I may have mentioned this before.
Okay.
Did I tell you about shuffle dancing?
Yes.
Did I tell you I was into it on the last one we were into? Because I feel like
it doesn't
might have been at
matter.
the
We're
very beginning.
geriatric
Okay.
millennials. We just reshare stories at this point.
That's so true. But anyways, okay. So I bought this intro to shuffling course and I've been doing it with my daughter. It's been a long time since we've like gotten to the next, we haven't taken time to really like progress in the course. We're planning to do that more next month, but I have been watching shuffle dancing on Instagram, Instagram like reels and all these. And so I keep getting sent these or like they keep showing up in my feed,
it's
right?
your algorithm now.
Yes. And so I keep following more and more because I love watching it.
Yes.
So it's really hard to actually do. It's really hard to actually do because it's like so much like jumping and bouncing and just like it's so fast. But to watch it when somebody's really good at it, it looks so fun. It looks so smooth and just
it's very cool.
It's so cool. It almost looks fake. I'm like, how are they even doing this with their like, because it looks like they're floating or something because they're just gliding across the floor, but like bouncing at the same time. I don't know. It's so fun to watch for me. So I am into it. I'm into learning and I'm into watching it.
And honestly, you're into doing it because I've seen your videos.
Yeah, well, I've done a couple and again, haven't progressed, but there will be more coming because I'm planning to focus on that next month to an extent with my daughter. Oh, and I got the cutest dance sneakers.
Of course.
So I cannot wait to wear them. I haven't even worn them yet, but I cannot wait to wear them while shuffling because they're sneakers. So like all my dance shoes are heels, except now I have a pair of dance sneakers. I'm like, oh, this is the best ever. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I was like, I'm gonna dance in these. Shuffle dance, that is. So yeah, I'm into it.
If you're enjoying the podcast and would like to support the show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost. Check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.